George Floyd's death, could it have been avoided? That is the main question that I will be discussing and answering in this video. I will also be telling you why his death should have been avoided. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Division Conspiracy Unification. I've written a book titled The Mudpole Theory, in which I teach and educate people concerning who, how, and why we are being divided as a nation. I do that by disclosing the truth concerning our dark past history so that you can better understand who, how, and why we are being divided. My goal and my vision is to unite and bring us closer together as a nation with the truth. Before I get into discussing George Floyd's death and how it could and should have been avoided, I want to first discuss in brief the Declaration of Independence, which was originally prepared by Thomas Jefferson, modified and passed by the Second Continental Congress, and sent to Great Britain on declaring the United States independence from British control and dominance. This set out the grievances that they had and why they were declaring their independence. This is on July the 4th, 1776, the day that we currently celebrate Independence Day. What is most significant to me concerning what is happening today and has happened in the past is that the Declaration of Independence has very little, if any, meaning to the protesters or to our government. The Declaration of Independence states, in part, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, later changed to unalienable rights, that among those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, with liberty and justice for all. Basically, government cannot infringe upon, transfer, and or take away those rights. As I will discuss in this video, those principles applies to all, not just one group of people. God created man as equals. Man has divided us into races. As anticipated, because it was an election year, I knew that the politicians would be coming out of the woodwork to express their opinions and make their empty promises of what they could do and would do if elected. Of course, they are putting the full blame on police and calling for reform. These reforms have been proposed and implemented in the past and have had very little, if any, positive results. I discuss in the Mudpole Theory and in my videos, if these problems are going to be addressed and resolved, we need to start at the beginning and address the root of the problems, because these problems have been ongoing for over 60 years. In the Mudpole Theory and in my video, I have stated that civil rights has become a very profitable business, and because of that, a lot of people, both black and white, have been joining in to profit from our division. Of course, I also anticipated that there would be civil rights leaders, advocates coming out of the woodworks to profit from the unfortunate death of George Floyd. The ones that have and will continue to be affected will mainly be our black communities. It will only get worse. As I will discuss later in this video, race relations are much better, and the black communities are doing much better than they are today prior to the civil rights movements. Other than the obvious answer concerning how George Floyd's death could have been avoided, in this video I'll not only answer the question, could his death have been avoided, but I will also tell you why it should have been avoided. To answer the last question, it will require a discussion of our dark past history. So watch and listen to the end of this video to learn what we the people can do to avoid the unfortunate death of young black men in the future, not only at the hands of police, but also at the hands of each other. Prior to writing the Mudpole Theory and prior to doing this video, my videos, which I have posted on YouTube, I've always devoted the time and put forth the effort to do my research concerning the subject matter that I was doing and I was going to discuss, so that I can be more accurate concerning the facts of that particular subject. I've done the same thing before doing this video. I wanted to know as much about George Floyd as I could find out, so that not only could I be more objective, but so that I would have a better understanding of George Floyd's confrontation with police. I did learn through my research that George Floyd had been convicted of armed robbery and a home invasion in Houston, Texas in 2007 and spent 5 years in prison. He moved to Minneapolis in 2014. While there may be other information available, I consider those, along with other criminal convictions, as facts which may have contributed to George Floyd's death. For a more complete breakdown of George Floyd's criminal history, I will post a link to a video by Candace Owens, a young black lady. On the day when George Floyd had his confrontation with police had received a call from a merchant that George Floyd and 2 others were purchasing merchandise with counterfeit money. Police arrived on the scene and George Floyd was arrested and put in handcuffs. Apparently, as routine, police ran him through NCIC, National Crime Information Center, and learned of his prior criminal convictions because it was not long before 2 more police cars arrived on the scene. I'm sure that they were taking precautions to make sure that things didn't get out of hand, not only for their own safety and protection, but for the protection and safety of the general public, because at the time, a crowd had begun to gather to see what was going on. I did watch a video on YouTube from a security camera, and it showed where George Floyd was placed up against the wall and was subsequently led around the police car to be placed in the back seat of the police car. While it was not clear from the video, it is apparent that he must have refused to get into the police car, and there was a scuffle between him and police. He was then thrown to the ground where the police officer put his knee on George Floyd's back on his neck. According to my understanding, the videos from the body cams worn by the police officers have not yet been released. Since police are now required to wear body cams, those videos should clearly show exactly what happened behind the police car. There's nothing that I could say which would justify the death of George Floyd, but there is an explanation of why it happened and how it could have been avoided. George Floyd could have simply gotten in the back seat of the patrol car, and he could have had his day in court. If he was not guilty, he could have had the opportunity to prove his innocence in court. As an alternative, I do agree that the police officers should have, or could have rolled him onto his side so that he could breathe. However, I'm sure that the police knew of his extensive criminal history and that he was on drugs, and apparently he was a rather huge man, as previously stated, and that they were taking extra precautions. I'm sure that there will be those who will say that he is a black man, and as a black man he would not receive justice. This is the main argument for criminal justice reform. Even though I had not intended on discussing myself in this video, you need to know that even though I am retired, I am a lawyer, and I have had a lot of experiences with the criminal justice system. Throughout my legal career, one of my major concerns has always been, what can I do that will change the high crime rate in our black communities? Because that is a main issue that needs to change first, something which I have already addressed in prior videos. See my videos, Criminal Justice Reform and Stop the Violence. For the past 5 to 6 years, I have watched a lot of videos, mainly by black people on YouTube, because I'm white and I wanted to have a better understanding of how blacks felt about the topics I would be discussing, not only in the mud phone theory, but also in my videos. The main conclusion I drew from watching those videos and from talking to black people is that most are in agreement with what I would be saying. The biggest concern from the black people I've talked to is that what a very small percentage of the blacks are doing is only hurting them, because since they were black, they would be judged based on the actions of a few blacks. There's one thing that motivated me to do my video on stereotyping. It's wrong to stereotype anyone based on race, but it's Martin Luther King stated, each person should be judged based on his or her character. One day I was looking through the title of various videos and I came upon a video titled White Privilege My Ass. And I knew that I had to watch that video, so I clicked on the video and watched it. The video was about a young black man by the name of Brandon Tatum. While he did discuss white privilege and why it doesn't exist, he really got my attention when he talked about racial profiling. Brandon Tatum graduated from college, had gone through the police academy, and at the time of this video was a spokesperson for the, if memory serves me right, Tucson, Arizona Police Department. He stated that prior to becoming a police officer, he had always believed that blacks were being unlawfully racially profiled until he saw the statistics of the percentage of blacks committing violent crimes, the percentage of blacks killing other blacks, and the percentage of police officers who were shot by blacks. This is the first thing that needs to be addressed and changed if we want to avoid this from happening in the future. This is a part of this video which I anticipate will be very, very controversial and will bring about a lot of criticism and possible outrage. However, in the mud puddle theory and in my videos, I have made it perfectly clear. My intent is not to offend or upset anyone, but at the same time, I'm more focused on being historically correct than I am on being politically correct. If we're going to be successful at addressing and resolving the problems, we must know and understand the underlying causes for the problems, and the only way we can know and understand the underlying causes is to know the truth. In the mud puddle theory, I did criticize certain things about the civil rights movements in the 50s and 60s, but I did state that they did do a lot for the blacks in addressing racism and racial inequality. Since writing the mud puddle theory, I have watched a lot of videos and read a lot of articles written by Jason L. Riley and watched a lot of videos by Thomas Sowell and other blacks, and I'm now convinced that I was wrong. Something which is very, very hard for me to admit. Jason L. Riley is a young black man who is a journalist for the Wall Street Journal and a commentator for ABC News. He has written 2 books, Please Stop Helping Us and False Black Power. And numerous articles we have stated that the Civil Rights Act of 1964, affirmative action, and a lot of the governmental programs that were designed and intended to help the black community has only been detrimental and has only hurt the blacks. Since I have already done videos on the subjects concerning Jason L. Riley, I won't go into a lot of detail about what he said, but I do encourage you to watch some of my videos where I quote Jason L. Riley concerning some of his concerns. Basically, it is a mindset or mental attitude that has been created and has caused more harm than good. Something which must be and apparently is changing to some extent. Thomas Sowell is a black man who is a PhD in economics and who is a social critic. In his videos that I have watched, he always emphasizes that his theories and opinions are based on and backed up by facts. He puts forth the time and effort to research the facts before giving his opinion. The same thing I do. In summary, he stated that race relations are better and that blacks are better off prior to the Civil Rights Movement, Civil Rights Act of 1964, affirmative action, and a lot of the government programs that were supposed to help the blacks, but have only hurt the blacks. In other words, he was saying the government got involved and that was a problem. Even though I may have mentioned him in the mud puddle theory and in some of my videos, I do strongly encourage you to watch some of his videos. You will learn a lot, and I will tell you, he's like 93 years old. He's an amazing man. The answers and solutions for our problems that I have discussed in this video, that there needs to be change of mindset and mental attitude before incidents like the George Floyd incident will change. The only way that that can be done is with the truth concerning our dark past history, which is very, very hard, if not impossible, to come by today because of the propaganda that our youth are being bombarded with on a daily basis. In the mud puddle theory and in some of my videos, I have told my followers, don't believe me. Do your own research and learn the truth for yourself. When I was making preparations to do my video on affirmative action, rather than going through the mountain of paperwork I had in my research files, I decided to do a Google search for affirmative action, and while it did come up, I could not find the complete log. It forced me into pulling out my files so that I could find the information I needed. There's an old saying that you can't change the past, and even though that is true, it's being done every day. Sadly, the truth is hard, if not impossible, to come by today. Even though I don't put a lot of credibility on what is being said on YouTube, that may be our only source to find the truth. Just focus on videos by Jason L. Riley, Thomas Sowell, and similar videos. When I sat down and started making preparations to do this video, I knew that there was a lot to cover, but at the same time, I didn't want this video to be real long because I know that most people won't watch it to the end if it's too long. For that reason, I know that I have left out a lot of crucial information that I should have discussed. However, I hope that I have at least put enough information in this video to start conversations, discussions, and our dialogues so that we can address the problems and come up with solutions to not only prevent the same thing that happened to George Floyd from happening in the future, but also to unite and bring us closer together as a nation. It is a duty and responsibility of we the people, and not government, to reach our goal. As Thomas Sowell said, government has only made things worse. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have learned some things from this video which will at least give us a starting point. Please like and subscribe, and when you subscribe, please hit the bell icon so that you'll receive a notice of any future videos I may post. I not only welcome, but I strongly encourage you to leave your comments below. The best thing that we can do right now is to have conversations, discussions, and our dialogues that will bring about the changes needed. My only request is that your comments be constructive and that you be considerate of your fellow Americans. Working together, anything is possible. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. God bless America.